A lot of us kind of already stand by now that having a deeper voice just naturally makes you more attractive to the women around you. Feminine women are just attracted to like guys with a more deeper voice. It's been proven through scientific studies. And also like when you just have a deeper voice, it just makes you come off as like a more confident guy, more masculine, just all of that stuff. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to have a naturally deeper voice. There's a lot of advice that I could give you on this, but really I wanted to keep it simple and like more practical to things that I think that you'll actually do. I mean, you can do a bunch of like deep voice practices or whatever, but I mean, most of us just don't want to like spend the extra time to do it. So just keeping it simple and the big things that you can do. So the first change that you want to make that you're probably not doing if you have like a little squeaker voice is you're probably drinking like cold beverages. The thing is, if you've ever like taken a cold shower or even just like been in cold weather, you know how you kind of like tighten up and just like freeze? What's happening to your body is like when you expose your body to cold, it constricts it. It makes everything more tighter. And when things are tighter, especially when your throat is tighter, you're not going to be able to have access to that deeper, more masculine voice. It just doesn't happen pretty much. You're just constricting your airways and whatever. If you want to have a deeper voice, what's very helpful and really simple to do is just you start drinking warmer beverages. So this could be like, in the morning, instead of, when you're going for your water, instead of putting ice in it, you just like have just the regular water, or you might just make warm tea in the mornings or whatever. There's a bunch of different things that you can do. You don't have to go overboard with this. Like, it's not like you can't ever drink a cold beverage, but just make it less cold than it already is. Like if you put tons of ice in your drink, just ask for like no ice, or just don't have ice in your drinks anymore. Or, when you're just out and about or you're at home or whatever, just make some warm tea or just microwave some water for like 10 seconds and just make it a little bit warmer. That's going to open up your airways, make it so your voice isn't so constricted. And not only are you going to be able to speak louder, but also have a deeper voice. It's a huge game changer, and I highly recommend that you try, because it's one of the simpler things and doesn't take too much time. It's just like a little habit change that you can have. Second thing is that you need to start avoiding tension in your upper body, and specifically this is going to be like your shoulder and your chest. When you constrict these areas, like when you have like your shoulders and chest like kind of tighten, you're more likely to be speaking like from like that area. Like when you're speaking and you have like these places tight, it's just harder to have a deeper voice pretty much when you're doing that. So like you've probably heard in so many other videos before this, just have an open body language, have your shoulders relaxed, chest relaxed. You'll be fine. That really helps. But more than that, what's more important, I think, is that you breathe through your diaphragm. You've probably heard of this before, but for those of you who don't know, diaphragmatic breathing, or your diaphragm, is like pretty much down here, like in your stomach area. And you want to breathe from there instead of like breathing from your chest. Like, this is a quick little exercise if you're in some place where, you're not afraid of being hurt or whatever. I want you to like speak in a kind of higher voice, like a higher voice like this. And you're going to notice when you're doing that, you speak, or like you start to feel vibrations more like up in here in your upper chest or in your chest area. But if you try to like intentionally just have a deeper voice, you're going to notice that the vibrations, or like kind of where you feel that voice coming from, it's going to be more in your like stomach area. The point is that when you're speaking deeper, it's in that area, like in your stomach area pretty much. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but if you want to have a deeper voice, breathe through your diaphragm, use your stomach, breathe through your stomach, and like not through your chest area. That's gonna really makes a difference. And I heard this advice before and I was like, yeah, that sounds good, but in public I really didn't like to breathe through my diaphragm, because I felt like it kind of made me look fat or whatever, like especially when I'm just like walking around. I just didn't want to do it because I didn't want to seem fat. But if this is happening to you, what's most likely happening is that you have what's called anterior pelvic tilt. I have like an image of it here, anterior pelvic tilt. You could also have posterior pelvic tilt, but for most people, it's going to be this one right here in the middle. And even if you don't think that you have this, a quick way that you can, I guarantee you, what you can do is, I want you to stand up. And if you stand up and your feet are naturally kind of like this, where it's just like straight, you might not have it. But if you stood up, and if you're being honest with yourself, like your natural standing posture, it's kind of like your feet are pointed outwards like this, or like maybe one foot is in, one foot is out, kind of like that. Anyways, I just want to show you a little example. If your feet are out like this instead of being straight, you definitely have a condition that's preventing you from having like the right spine posture, which is making you like feel, it just makes it harder to breathe diaphragmatically, especially like if you're trying not to like look bloated when you're walking around. Anyways, the book that I highly recommend if you like have that condition, it's called the Agassi Method. It's pretty much this book on like your physiology, and pretty much it taught me that the way that a lot of people are like, just like, man, in this day and age, our bodies are just so fucking cooked and we don't even realize it. I first got onto this book because I had like a surgery. It was like a kidney transplant I was donating to someone. And after that surgery, like I noticed that my core, it was just like really weak. Like it was just kind of hard to walk around. It just hurt to do kind of normal things, which is to be expected like after a surgery like that. But even after it, like I just felt like I wasn't the same. I didn't feel like as strong in my core. So I started to read this book, and I found out that for most of the population, even if you're like a younger guy, the way that we use our bodies and like our spinal alignment or our skeletal alignment, it just isn't what it's supposed to be. It's not like natural. So if you read this book and you do start doing some of the exercises, it'll really help you to fix that. So it becomes a lot easier to do your diaphragmatic breathing, but it also like just, it's so much better for your health, and just especially like if you're an athlete or whatever, this is like a fucking godsend. Yeah, I highly recommend just reading this book, dude. It really did change my life, and makes it easier to breathe through your diaphragm. I bet you probably weren't expecting that, but yeah, let's move on. Third thing that will really help you to make your voice deeper is meditation. Pretty much with meditation, it's like focusing. A lot of the time it's just like a practice of focusing on your breath, and like you lose focus on your breath and then you come back to the present moment, start focusing on your breath again. I'm not going to go like a in-depth explanation about meditation unless you guys want that. But pretty much by having a meditation practice, you're just putting in more reps of breathing through your diaphragm, and that'll like naturally start to come out like in like other areas of your life. Like when you meditate, you just pretty much learn how to breathe correctly or like more effectively, and that calmness, that like conditioning just ends up coming out in your normal life. Yeah, I think it's pretty helpful. I've been doing it for a while, and naturally you just become more relaxed. And when you're more relaxed, it's easier. Like your voice isn't as constricted. You know, the tightness in your shoulders and chest isn't as much, and you know, you're more relaxed and you're able to have a deeper voice, come off more masculine and all that nice stuff. Another one that I guess I didn't put on here, but I think has also contributed a lot. a lot of guys just don't practice using their voice. Like, a lot of us are just like quiet, introverted kind of individuals, and it's fine to be like that. But if you want to train your voice, you have to use it. It's kind of just like being in the gym. You can't really expect yourself to build muscle or to become stronger if you just don't use those muscles. You know what I mean? Like, by me being able to record these types of videos, I'm practicing using my voice, and I'm sure that that's gave me like a huge benefit in being able to have my voice deeper. Because, you know, if I'm being honest, when I record these videos, I kind of intentionally try to use the deeper voice to like come off a certain way. But by doing that, I naturally, like in my day-to-day life, I start to use that like deeper voice because, you know, I'm kind of just used to it. So if you're like a person who just doesn't talk or like through a natural day, just try and find ways that you can. Like, if you do some sort of recording of yourself, that works. Or maybe you're reading alone, you might just like read a page like out loud in like the deepest voice you can. Just practice doing it, and naturally by doing that, you condition your body to speak in a deeper way. It's crazy that a lot of people just don't think about like this simple exercise, but literally, yeah, just practice using a deep voice and you will make like progress. Like, as simple as it sounds, it works. But yeah, that's all I really got for you in this video. I think it's really good that you're thinking about or trying to develop a deeper voice, because by doing this, it improves the relationships that you have like as a man. Like, people don't really know this, but by intentionally doing like these things to become a more attractive person, not only are you becoming more desirable to women, but you're also becoming an example of like a masculine man and like what a man should really be like to like the other guys around you. I know when I see someone who's doing better than me, or like who just comes off as more masculine as me, that like really inspires me and like wakes me up to like, wow, that's freaking awesome. Because, you know, in the society we live in, everybody is just like, especially like the men, we're just so feminized, and like that's become so normal. But when you see a guy who just comes off as in this like really masculine way, it kind of just like inspires and like wakes up and you. It's like, dang, like that's freaking awesome. So I guess I just wanted to compliment you and say it's great that you're trying to improve this area of your life. It makes you more attractive and stuff. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Hope you got some value from it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.